May the 1st, 1994, the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, and the death of one of motor racing's greatest champions.
Senna was an iconic figure worldwide.
I think Senna truly believed he was the best racing driver.
The man who put on the yellow helmet, closed smoke visor and went racing, he was on a mission. He was out to win races. That was what he was there to do.
By 1994, the Brazilian Senna had won 3 world titles. But at McLaren, his obsessive will to win brought him into bitter conflict with teammate Alain Prost. That season, Senna had switched to drive for the Williams team.
He needed a change. I think he saw the potential in the Williams team, where he was going to get an engine, he was going to get a chassis, he was going to get a technical director, he was going to get all the things he wanted to have.
By the 3rd race of the season at Imola, the signs of strain were already showing. 2 pole positions had produced no wins. Both races had been won by the rising German star Michael Schumacher. Senna needed a victory more than ever in his life.
He almost had to win it because Schumacher was just piling on the pressure and he was having to drive particularly hard. Yes, he was under a lot of pressure that weekend, there's no question about that.
The scene was set for Formula One's blackest weekend.
The weekend in Imola was a major, big, bad weekend because Rubens' accident was probably the largest accident that Rubens Barrichello has ever had. And it was spectacular and it was violent.
He woke up in hospital to find Senna at his bedside. Now, Senna was Barrichello's god. But that's the sort of thing that Senna did.
Then, of course, we had the fatal accident to Roland Ratzenberger during qualifying on the Saturday. That really did make everybody stop and think, because that was a horrendous accident.
It was the sport's first fatality for 12 years.
That really then set the tone for what was to follow for the rest of the weekend. Then we had the start line accident itself, with bits flying everywhere, cars colliding with everybody else, and then they brought the safety car out. So by then, you were really nervous because you were just thinking, what on earth's going to happen next? Then they restart the race, and then Senna has his accident.
When leading the race at the Tamburello curve, Senna lost control of his car. He crashed into a concrete wall at 130 miles an hour. He suffered a fatal brain injury.
We've seen drivers step from terrible wreckage and just dust themselves down and carry on. Senna's car looked all right, apart from one wheel being off. It looked okay, but he wasn't getting out.
The BBC had, for the first time ever, got their own camera at Imola, and had they not had their own camera, they would have left the circuit, because the pictures that were coming through were not pictures you would have wanted to see at home.
That was a high-speed accident, and of course he died. Because nobody had seen drivers die for such a long period, the impact of it, particularly because he was the man, had a stronger emotional strike against it than anything that had happened in the preceding years for a very long time.
A 21-gun salute, 3 days of national mourning.
Senna was given a state funeral in Brazil, but the whole world mourned his death.
Jackie Stewart was among the friends who carried the coffin away for the funeral.
Flying over the route that the funeral was going to take, I mean, there was tens of thousands of people, to where Ayrton was lying in state. There was a long line of people still waiting to pass by the coffin and pay their respects.
Senna had seemed invincible. Life is something God gives us, he once said. It's our responsibility to look after such a gift. Safety, a passionate interest of Senna during his life, improved as a result of his death.
Senna's death taught us that you can never ever stop thinking about safety in motorsport.
The cars are stronger, they're robust, there's a survival cell, the drivers have got 6-point harnesses that don't detach, the seats themselves are more robust. The deformable structure, the wheels, the suspension, the engine, the gearbox come off. And this driver's left in this cocoon of safety. And the large majority of cases, we get off with it.
Ayrton Senna was only 34. His death still haunts Formula One.